Hello dear students, welcome to the another video tutorial of mammalian histology. In previous session we have seen about the stomach, okay, its relation to the neighboring organs, okay, the parts of the stomach, the regions that are the cardiac region, fundus region, the body of the stomach and the pyloric region. Okay, so and we have seen about the layers of the stomach wall. Okay, the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa and serosa. Okay, so in case of the ruminants, the pneumomic is the one layer or the sac is added. Okay, so then we have seen with the uh, its histology of the stomach. Okay, so in today's session we will discussing the topic is nothing but the duodenum. Okay, so the duodenum after the stomach. Okay, as soon as the pylorus part is going to end. Okay, and after that the sphincter, the pyloric sphincter is open into a wide portion of the duodenum. Okay, so duodenum is the first of the three parts of the small intestine. Okay, the three parts of the small intestine, first one is duodenum, okay, then jejunum and then ileum. Okay, so the second one is ileum and third one is jejunum. Okay, so the three parts of the small intestine get divided into uh, the small intestine is divided into the three parts. Okay, we will discuss for today's session is the first part from the small intestine is nothing but the duodenum. Okay, so that small duodenum going to receive partially digested food from the stomach. Okay, and begins with the absorption of the nutrients as soon as the pyloric sphincter is going to open into the duodenum. Okay, so it is directly attached to the pylorus to the duodenum. Okay, the attachment point of these two organs are with the pylorus with the duodenum by the sphincters. Okay, the sphincters nothing but the valves like material. Okay, and histologically, if we speak histologically, then it consists of the three layers. Okay, not the all four layers. It consists of the three layers common to all hollow organ of the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so there has the Brunner's gland present in the submucosa. Okay, and which is the peculiar characteristic feature of the duodenum. So why this Brunner gland is so important? Okay, we will see upcoming slides. Okay, why this Brunner's glands is so important that it highlights the specific characteristic of the duodenum. Okay, so the mucosa will be the first part. In the mucosa, it consists of the simple columnar epithelium connective tissue layer. Okay, and it comprises with the lamina propria and muscularis mucosa will be the two parts from the mucosa. Okay, and the lamina propria and the smooth muscle layers which consist of the muscularis mucosa and connective tissue with the lamina propria, or it also known as the mucosa. Okay, so as you can see in this picture, the abdominal cavity is going to fill up by means of the small intestine and the large intestine. But upwards, the thoracic cavity below the cardiac cavity, there is the location of the stomach, and the lower half, uh, just uh, front of the stomach, there will be the liver present. Okay, so this stomach is going to open into the duodenum, but if you see as a visual structures in the first diagram, you are not able to see the total duodenum. Okay, so but you, if you going to a section, okay, when you going to um, take avoid these curtains of the organs, okay, and the subcutaneous fat is there, okay, and then the organ fat is there, okay, that fatty layers, if you get side of that fat layers, you will see the duodenum proper structure. Okay, so as you can see, the in the second picture, the proper structure of the duodenum. Okay, there are transverse section also taken for this duodenum, and you can see the rugae or the these absorptive surface area is increased by means of these villi of the duodenum. Okay, there are numerous villi are present in the from the duodenum to the all over the small intestine. Initially in the duodenum there are less number of villi present, but as you enters into the second part, that will be the ileum and then jejunum, they are having the numerous n number of the villi are present in the their surfaces. Okay, so just take the information about the mucosa. Okay, then it consists of the simply columnar epithelium and the connective tissue layer into the lamina propria region, and then as you pass from the lamina propria to muscularis mucosae, there will be the layer of the smooth muscles layers. Okay, and these two lamina propria and muscularis mucosae are going to uh, combine together and perform the proper functions of the small intestine. Okay, so the intestinal epithelial cells that are nothing but the enterocytes, we will see in next slide, the enterocytes or proper structures are going to overlaid by a layer of glycoproteins and the mucin. Okay, so these are the glycoproteins and the mucin are the structures or the proper protein structures are embedded into the enterocytes for the proper absorption of the nutritive material. Okay, so as you can see the derivatives of the mucosae. Okay, then the absorptive cells are the first cells which are having into the mucosa layer. Okay, so these absorptive cells are the columnar cells with the brush borders of the microvilli. It also known as the brush border. So these microvilli are present on the mucosa layer or the surface layer to increase the absorptive surface area of the intestine. Okay, as soon as this free granular cytoplasm contains the droplets. Okay, which droplets? The fat droplets. Okay, so then these oval shaped nucleus of these cells, absorptive cells, are situated on the basal side. Okay, then will be the second derivative or the second cells are present into the mucosal epithelial linings are the goblet cells. So these are the unicellular mucous glands. Okay, these are the glands because there are some secretions from the goblet cells to perform the well functioning of the uh, our digestion. Okay, so the goblet cells are the unicellular mucous glands contains mucin droplets. Okay, these mucin droplets going to secrete a mucus. Okay, and they have also a small microvilla. Okay, the small microvilli are present on the goblet cells. Okay, so the number is less in duodenum. The goblet cells numbers is less in the duodenum, the microvilli and the goblet cells, but it will be in a great number in the jejunum and the ileum. Okay, so then third number of the cells, as you can see the picture of the goblet cell, you will see the smaller these microvilli present on the surface. Okay, then you will see the whitish secretory vesicles with the mucin. Okay, and that mucin is going to secrete the mucus. Okay, so then it having with the all apparatus, okay, for the Golgi apparatus and the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it having the nucleus situated at the base, okay, then the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cells, are also present in the goblet cell. So the all microorganelles are also present in the goblet cell. Okay, then will be the argentaffin cells. The argentaffin cells are the common in the duodenum. Okay, so they are scattered in the epithelium layer. So the epithelium cells going to rest upon a highly cellular lamina propria. Okay, so these argentaffin cells are embedded in the lamina propria lesion. Okay, so then it going to form the centers of the villi. Okay, and that centers of the villi are going to occupy by means of these argentaffin cells and going to fill the space between these crypts of the libercum. Okay, that crypts of the libercum is nothing but the when our the microvilla, the mucosal layers, okay, going to perform the leaflet like structures. Okay, and that leaflet, in between these leaflet like structures, the gap is there, that nothing but the crypts of Flegeber. Okay, so as you can see, the fourth um, the intestinal villi, okay, that is nothing but the, these are the characteristic feature of the small intestine. All over the small intestine, these intestinal villi are present. Okay, so these intestinal villi are the peculiar characteristic of the small intestine to increase the absorptive surface, as well as the absorption rate is increased by means of these intestinal villi. So the absorptive cells are present in these intestinal villi epithelial linings, as well as the all other cells. We have seen the goblet cells, argentaffin cells. Okay, these are present with the absorptive cells in these villi. Okay, so the each villi is the leaf shaped and contain the core of the delicate loose connective tissues of the lamina propria, and the epithelial covering is present in these villi structures. Okay, so a single small lymphatic vessels, okay, as you can see, these single small lymphatic vessels are going to pass from these each villus. Okay, the villi is the plural and the villus, the singular, is the villus. Okay, so the lymphatic vessels are nothing but the, they are going to the form the lymphatic system of the mechanism for the better network of the signals. Okay, then these lymphatic vessels are going going to present in each villus. Okay, so the each villi of the small intestine going to get connected with these lymphatic vessels and forming the lymphatic system. Okay, so the blood capillaries form a network in these villi structures. Each cell is provided the oxygenated blood by means of the capillaries and collect the deoxygenated blood by means of the vein. Okay, so as you can see, the artery structures, vein structures, you can see the epithelial cells are present in the each epithelial lining in this picture. Okay, as you can see, the interstitial crypt, that when that villi structure, the epithelial cells are going to embed into the after the mucosa, they are going to embed into the submucosa. So that crypts are located or said by means of the intestinal crypts. Okay, so you can see the small arteries are present into the each villus. Okay, you can see the small veins. Okay, you can see the epithelial cell linings. Okay, and the intestinal villus, the very numerous n number of the crowded structures are nothing but the intestinal villus to increase the surface area of the digestive tract, as well as the increase the absorptive rate and the absorptive portion of the small intestine. Okay, so it having uh, the it is used, or these intestinal villi are useful for the absorption and the transport of the nutritional substances. Okay, so these villi is going to show this continuous change in their length to undergo waving motion. So the waving pattern of the villi are shown, seen in the small intestine. So this continuous waving pattern of the villi to one direction, or the one continuous flow of their work. Okay, so they are going to form a continuous change in their length while they are performing this particular waving motion. Okay, the waving pattern. Okay, so that's why these all the water soluble substances, or the nutritive substances, are going to get connect with these absorptive cells, and then these absorptive cells are going to absorb the nutritive material, or the all the content, water soluble content, into it, and then these capillaries or the arteries are going to supply these um, blood for the further processes. Okay, then it will be get converted into the suppose if they are going to get some glucose, and then it get converted into the some uh, into the something to broke down that particular the long chain of the sugars, and then they're going to convert into the amino acids, and all these things are going to form, and then your body is going to enrich in the energy. Okay, so the second layer will be the submucosa layer. Okay, the submucosa going to comprises the loose connective tissue and numerous blood vessels up and the Mersenne plexus. Okay, so as you can see, the submucosa after the mucosa. Okay, so in this TS of the duodenum. Okay, so this is the at the medium magnification. This is the TS of the TS of the duodenum, and stained by the HE stains. Okay, and hematoxylin and eosin stains at the medium magnification. So as you can see in these that enterocytes, what we have seen in the second slide, the enterocyte cells are present into the these intestinal villuses. Okay, so these mucosa, the lamina propria of the mucosa. So these whitish spherical enterocyte cells are present. Okay, so as you can see, the goblet cells, the uh, some conifer cells present into the epithelial linings. Okay, these goblet cells are present, also present in these uh, mucosa layer. Okay, then you see the intestinal crypt of the Lieberkuchen. Okay, that crypts into the passage. Okay, and that will be filled by these enterocytes, and that passage is going to uh, utter these particular character of the mucosa layer. Okay, then will be the simple columnar epithelium is going to arrange the villus structure. Okay, as you can see, the leaf like structure of the villus, as you clear cut you can see. Okay, and that after the mucosa, the biggest layer in this particular duodenum. Okay, and then it going to get after the second layer is nothing but the submucosa. Okay, and that submucosa comprises of the connective tissues that are the present, the numerous blood vessels and the menstrual plexus. Okay, then a characteristic feature of the duodenum is, we have said, it presents the Brunner's gland. Okay, so the Brunner gland having the more importance than the other cells into the duodenum, so that this Brunner's gland going to produce the mucus secretions which are contains the bicarbonate. That means it having the basic secretions, so which serves to neutralize the gastric acids. We have seen the acidic medium into the stomach. Okay, that acidic medium should be neutralized somewhere. When that acidic medium, the semi-digested food, is going to enter into the duodenum, at that time this Brunner gland going to secrete the secretion or the mucuses which are enriched in the bicarbonate solutions. Okay, and that bicarbonate ions going to neutralize these acidic ions. Okay, whereas the buffer is going to create, and this acidity is going to balance into the small intestine or the duodenum. Okay, and that neutralization is necessary for the better absorption of the food. Okay, and that is carried out by means of the Brunner's gland. That's why it having the more importance into the duodenum. Okay, so these mucuses which are produced by the Brenner gland is going to neutralize the gastric acid. Okay, so then will be the lamina propria of the mucosa. Okay, then the lamina propria of the mucosa layer is going to contain the reticular collagen fibers, as well as it having the much more elastic fibers in it. Okay, so it going to provide the elastic fibers, going to provide the flexibility, as well as these collagen fibers are going to having the rigidity to going to um, get proper directions for this submucosa mucosa layer of the duodenum. Okay, then will be the lamina propria also contains the connective tissue cells, fibroblast, eosinophils, plasma cells, mast cells, and etc. all other cells of the human system. Okay, the eosinophils and these mast cells are of the inflammatory cells. They are going to inflammate and going to alert the human system for the in case if any foreign particle or the some foreigner going to enter into the intestine. Okay, so these mast cells, fibroblast, and eosinophils are the cells of the human system going to play a very important role for in the health of this particular individual. Okay, so the submucosa will be the second layer. Uh, Sorry. Okay. So then will be the submucosa having it loosely arranged connective tissues and contain the larger blood vessels as well as the lymphatic system present into the submucosa layer. Okay. We have seen the Brunel gland present into the submucosa. Then will be the last layer, the third layer will be the serosa. Okay, the outermost coat consists of the loose connective tissues which having the covering by layer of the mesothelium. Okay, so these are the serosa going to provide the structural support for the duodenum. Okay, and it is the outermost coat consists of the loose connective tissue as well as it having the covered by the mesothelium layer. Okay, so the function of the duodenum, then the main task for the duodenum are to neutralize the acidic gastric juice through the production of the alkaline secretes. Okay, that alkaline secretions by means of Brunner's glands and the goblet cells, as well as the argentaphine and the other cells, that are going to secrete the all alkaline secretions that are going to neutralize these acidic gastric juices, which are going to enter into the duodenum by the stomach way. Okay, and that mechanical processing of the digestion of these chyme is maintained in the duodenum. The chyme is made up of in the stomach. Okay, that chemical mixing and all these acidic solutions, as well as the well mixing by these muscle layers into the stomach. Okay, and then this sphincter is going to open into the duodenum, and these all acidic uh, chyme is going to enter into the duodenum. But there are some mechanisms which are going to secrete the alkaline secretions, and then these chyme is get neutralized over there, and well planned digestion process is happening to the small intestine, and well absorption is carried out by means of the absorptive cells of the microvilli. Okay, and then that nutritive material is transported by means of the vein and the arteries. Okay, so then the mixing of this bile and the pancreatic enzyme into the duodenum. Okay, whereas the bile is secreted by means of the liver, and they are having the duct into the which opens into the duodenum. Okay, so the absorption of the water, electrolytes, and the nutrients are carried out by means of this duodenum. Okay, especially the water soluble substances such as the monosaccharides, glucose, sugar, and all these things are uh, absorbs, especially the first part, that is nothing but the duodenum. Okay, so the distinctive features or the peculiar characteristics of the duodenum. Okay, to remember, the presence of the plica circulars. Okay, and these that are nothing but the walls of the cranking. Okay, that cranking wall and the plicas circularis are present in the duodenum. Okay, in the duodenum, the numerous leaf-like villi are present. The villi contains the all absorptive cells, goblet cell, algentaphil cells. Okay, in the epithelium layer of the villi. Okay, and the mucosa layer. Okay, so it duodenum also present of the crypts of the libacum. Okay, and then duodenum going to present these occurrence of Peth cells. Okay, then the duodenum, the main highlighted point, Brunner's gland, is present in the submucosal layer of the duodenum. Okay, which are going to secrete some secretions, and this acidity or the acidic chyme is going to neutralize in the duodenum. Okay, so the key facts about the duodenum are the location of the duodenum, the 25 to 30 centimeter C-shaped uh, around the head of the pancreas. Okay, the L1 and L3 level, or the L1 L3 section of the thoracic cavity is occupied by means of this duodenum, and this tube, that duodenum is first part of the small intestine, we know that is comprises the first 25 to 30 centimeter, and it having the C shape by the when that stomach is going to protrude, and that opens into the small intestine to going to get travel by side of the liver. Okay, so the blood supply are maintained by means of these blood supplies by anterior posterior these pancreonal arteries. Okay, and that well articular structures or the venule structures are maintained. These blood supply as well as the transport of the nutritive material is carried out by means of the blood. Okay, so the invasion, that are the celiac plexus and the vagus nerves, that are the cranial 10th nerve. Okay, that these maintains the these neural uh, plexus. Okay, then the histology is the main part which we have focused today. The layers of the duodenum are the mucosa layer, in that the lamina propria and the muscularis mucosae are the two layers of the mucosa. Okay, the mucosa will be the biggest layer in the from these three layers. The second layer will be the submucosa and third layer will be the muscularis externa. The characteristic features of these duodenum is nothing but the presence of the Brunner gland. Okay, and these Brunner glands, we know the functions of the Brunner glands. Okay, then the functions of the duodenum. The duodenum going to play a role in the neutralization of the acidic gastric juices. Okay, and mechanical digestion of the chyme. Okay, that chyme which are made into the stomach. Okay, that mixing of bile and the pancreatic enzymes by the specialized duct which are going to open into the duodenum. Okay, the absorption of water, electrolytes and the nutrients, water soluble nutrients and the sugars are absorbed by means of this duodenum, as it has the absorptive cells present on the ileum, oh sorry, on the microvilli. Okay, so by the summarize all these things in the one chart. Okay, I am taking your leave and we will meet in the next session of the histology. Thank you.